In STEM City by your side, we'll touch the sky. Students lifting students, hand in hand, together we rise, together we stand. From every rise, together we stand. From every corner, from far and wide, our talents merge, our future's tied. In science, tech, and all the arts, we find our way, we play our parts, reach for the stars, for the stars.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Moria Bowman, your BEYA Stars Stripes STEM Career Day student ambassador and current college student, currently going through finals. The theme for April is balance. How to make all aspects of life come together and support each other. How can we avoid burnout and overcommitment, but still work towards our goals, both professionally and personally? Boy, I need to know that. Today's guest is perfect for discussing the best ways to achieve our goals. Bethany King Wilkes is a 2025 WAC honoree who is a program manager for UL Research Institutes. She will tell us about her journey to her career and field and how STEM played a big part in her success. To continue the discussion with Dr. King Wilkes, I'll turn it over to my fellow Career Day student ambassador. Dominic, over to you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dominic, Alegrete, your fellow student ambassador and cybersecurity expert. Thank you so much for being on Career Day today, Dr. King Wilkes. We would love to hear more on how you became a leader in your field and just your overall journey.
Hi, Dominic. Thank you so much for that introduction. And I just want to say it is an honor to be a guest on your show today. I just want to also share, before I get into my background, I wanted to share that I specifically work for the Institute of Research Experiences and Education. It is one of 6 institutes of the UL Research Institutes. And I wanted to share that we are a safety science organization with a mission to make our world a safer, sustainable, and more secure place. So now I'm going to go into my background and share with you how I got to UL Research Institutes. Next slide, please. So for me, growing up, science was always around me. And the reason for that, I've got to give that credit to my mother, who was a science educator. So science was always around our home. And one of the many memories that I have is when I was in kindergarten, I went to school on the same campus as my mom, but she was a high school science teacher. And because my the elementary school started earlier than the high school, I got a chance to sit in my mom's classroom for about an hour before I went to school. So I have memories sitting in her classroom lab with her AP biology students. So I was right beside them when they were, dissecting fetal pigs and cats. But I have to say, that's when I really started to like science and just to realize how much it influences the world around us. And on this slide, that's just a photo of me as a little girl with my mom. And also that's a picture of my son, Andrew. He's 9 years old, but I just wanted to show you, he's dressed as a scientist with a lab coat. My mom gave him that. And she actually gave him like a science kit to do science experiments. So she's continuing that legacy of science in our family, even with my child. So a question that I often get is mentors, right? And what mentor helped me the most? And when I look over my life and over my career, I can't just think of one mentor. Because when you really think about reality, there are so many people who play a role in your career development or just your professional development overall. So what I'm trying to demonstrate in this slide is just to give you a glimpse of my life and all the people who have played a role, no matter how big or how small. So many people have just poured into me. And that could be, within my career or even just personally. And many of these people I continue to stay in touch with to this very day. But then there are also people on that slide who wouldn't even know that I consider them a mentor. Oftentimes I could go to a professional conference and hear someone speak, and just the words of wisdom that they share stay with me. So one word of wisdom I would like to share with the audience is always be open to meeting people and embracing an opportunity to network and engage, because you don't realize what they have to share that will actually influence you and your career. So what does a day in the life look like for me? On this slide, as you can see, I put a logo of UL Research Institutes. That's where I currently work. And as Dominic mentioned, I am a senior program manager. And every day I get a chance to work alongside so many experts in their field. From different areas of science. We have some renowned researchers in science and engineering across the UL Research Enterprise. And what we do is we take the work, that the technical work, the science and engineering, and we translate that work into open access educational resources for K through 12, that educational level, but also for college students. And with those resources, our whole goal is to get students excited about science and engineering, but more specifically in the field of safety science, and to educate students about the opportunities that are available in safety science, as well as safety standards and standards development. So that's why I also have a logo on the screen for Standards Academy. That is a new platform that we recently launched, and I stress open access, meaning it is accessible to anybody who goes to that website, standardsacademy.org. But I am really proud of that accomplishment because, like I said, we are providing an opportunity, an open access opportunity for students to learn about the world of safety science and standards development, and just to understand the impact that those things have on our everyday lives. But also, another picture that I'm sharing, through my work, I was invited to a White House summit. And I was so honored to be there. And I got an opportunity to sit with other experts, and we talked about critical emerging technology. And again, that goes back to standards development. And then also another picture that I shared is just, I wanted to show how much I value my opportunity to engage with students. So on that picture, I am awarding some students at the Future City competition that's held in DC every year. So the next thing I would like to talk about are skills, more specifically the skills that I have found throughout my career, those skills that have really attributed to success. And I do want to share this with students. So number one, problem solving. I am a naturally curious person, and therefore, I like to solve problems. It's almost like a challenge for me, a good challenge. And I also think that that is the reason why I connected so with the field of engineering, because that's one of the major things that engineers do is they solve problems. Persistence, that's another skill that I value that has helped me definitely throughout my formal education training and in my career. There's no doubt that along your journey, you are going to run into challenges, right? You're going to run into roadblocks, but you can't let that stop you. You've got to persist. Another a skill that has benefited me so much is being able to adapt. We know you've heard that saying that change is constant. And that's so true. I have found that throughout life. So, whether that's in your personal life or your professional life, especially when you're working in an organization with people, there's always going to be change. And if you are able to adapt, the more successful you will be. And finally, communication. That's probably one of the most important skills of all the skills that I'm talking about today. I make it a point to seek understanding, right? And to understand whoever I'm communicating with. I want to clearly understand what they're communicating. And then I also want to be a clear communicator. One of my favorite quotes when it comes to communication is from Dr. Brene Brown. She often says, "Clear is kind." So I always think about that when I am communicating. I want to be understood, and I want to be clear, and I want to frame it for whomever I'm communicating with. Another question I often get is how did I get involved in a STEM career? So early on, I've already talked about how my mom was definitely an early influence for me. She opened my eyes to the world of science. Well, on this picture, you see a photograph that's me at my high school graduation, and also with my aunt Janice. Janice was a role model for me because she was a civil engineer. And growing up as a little girl in Tennessee, I would always hear her talk about her work, her career as an engineer. When I was growing up, she worked at the Department of Energy here in our state, in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. And just listening to her and her stories, she made engineering sound exciting. And at that time, I did not realize just how much that was influencing me. So if you think about the science exposure that I got from my mom, coupled with me hearing about my aunt and her exciting stories in engineering, that really planted a seed for me. So by the time I was in middle school and high school, I was involved in clubs related to science and engineering. And then also I have memories of going to summer engineering camps in my hometown at the University of Memphis. And it was there at a summer camp at the University of Memphis when I realized I want to be a mechanical engineer. And the reason is because we were doing different experiments and activities related to the different disciplines of engineering, like civil, electrical, mechanical. But I enjoyed the activity related to mechanical engineering the most. And so that's when I realized I want to pursue mechanical engineering when I go to college. I did just that. But what that story tells me is the importance of early exposure to science and engineering, and just how that can make such a big impact for young people. So that's my story of how I got into a STEM career. So at this time, I think we're going into Q&A questions.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing, Dr. King Wilkes. We'll first take a quick commercial break, and then after that, we'll ask you some more questions about your presentation and journey.
Thank you.
It's the moment in your eyes when the future becomes clear.
40 years ago, a vision was born to break barriers, to celebrate brilliance.
The hopes of what's in reach.
From pioneers to innovators to tomorrow's dreamers, BEYA has changed the landscape of STEM forever. Great minds, great people, great futures. Join us for BEYA 40. Don't just watch history, be part of it. BEYA, becoming everything you are.
Become everything you are.
Welcome back, everybody. We are live with Dr. Bethany King Wilkes, and we'll just hop straight into the Q&A. I know you had mentioned a good amount of skills that you have felt that students should probably have, and a lot of them are, soft skills like problem solving and some of the other things that you have said. But, outside of that, what would you say are some more like technical skills students should be, I would say, actively building right now so they can then set themselves apart if they want to pursue a career in the STEM field?
Yes, Dominic. So I would say when it comes to technical skills to develop, definitely take as many, I should say, math and science courses that you can, because that will only set you up for success as an engineer or a scientist. And the reason why I say take as many science and mathematics courses that you can is because that is the advice that my mom gave to me. And at the time, I was like, "Ugh, I don't want to take all those classes." But once I got into college, I realized just how much of a benefit having that exposure helped me to be successful in college as a engineering major.
So true. I think exposure is, definitely the key. I know with me, it wasn't necessarily so much college classes that got me my experience. It was more so like internships. So I definitely think
Yes.
taking, the right classes and making sure you have the right degree, but then also taking the time to try and find internships, even if it's free. You have to do it for a little bit of time. Just gaining that experience definitely will put you over the edge for other students for sure.
I totally agree, Dominic, because that's one thing I did not mention. I was an engineering intern through the Inroads program every summer while I was a college student. So I
Mhm.
totally agree with you. Internships are very important.
For sure. And then another question I wanted to get into more so about like your career and stuff, because I had saw the diversity in the mentors that you have, and I
Yes.
love to see that. I'm kind of in a similar boat. I have a good amount of mentors, both men and women. I wanted to ask, who has, been that most impactful mentor in your career? And then for like the students watch you right now, what's, the most practical way they maybe can find or approach a mentor today?
Yes. I know you're asking who would be the most influential mentor?
Mhm.
And I can't name just one person. And the reason is because, different people are going to have different areas of expertise. And it always depend when it comes to mentors, it just always dependent on where I
Mhm.
was in life and what the context was. So that's why I just showed that photo of so many different mentors in my life. So I can't just pinpoint one, but I know you also asked me how can one go about finding mentors. um, my advice would be just to be observant when you go to meetings or when you're at a conference, or it could even be at your your place of worship. And when you observe somebody that you admire, for whatever reason it is, have the courage to go up to them, introduce yourself, tell them why you admire them, and ask them if they would be a mentor or if you could schedule time to talk to them. Because sometimes mentorship may just take place in one conversation. So just be observant and be open to different opportunities to receive mentorship.
I feel you on that. It's definitely some great advice for sure. I know I can't really pinpoint a mentor either. Like that's just the
Right.
one because there's just so many. And I know definitely when it comes to being able to find those mentors, I know it can kind of be nerve wracking, but you know,
Yes,
my dad always says closed mouths don't get fed. So
that's right.
even if
That's
it's like a simple conversation, you know,
yes,
you don't know what that could, you know, actually lead to
that's right.
when it comes to finding mentors or anyone that could possibly excel your career
Yes.
for sure. And another thing too, because definitely want to get into the part about, you know, being a woman in STEM. I know that uh, there's not a lot of women in the tech industry in general, and not a lot of minority women. I know it's probably, I want to say like a little bit less than 2% of minority women are in the STEM field. For any, you know, young women that are out there right now that maybe are watching the show or just, you know, are wanting to start a career in STEM, what would you say is that one piece of advice you would give to them that would help them start their journey into the STEM field?
Yes, you made a very good point about women, as well as being a woman of color, how you will be in a minority in a STEM field, especially engineering and science. But one, I guess, words of wisdom or advice I would like to share is to be comfortable or embrace being what I call an outlier, meaning you're not like the group of people that you may be with, because that's something I had to embrace throughout my career, whether it was being the only woman in an engineering group or being the only person of color in an engineering on an engineering team. Embrace being an outlier. It used to make me uncomfortable until a mentor told me when he hires people for his team, he looks for outliers because they are going to bring a different perspective, different experiences to the team.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you want on a team, diversity of thought. So embrace being different, embrace being an outlier because it will be your superpower.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. Those are definitely great things to preach for sure. I know always being like the youngest in the room definitely can sometimes be
Yes.
intimidating,
Mm-hmm.
you know, as well. Could you also share maybe like some advice that you have when it comes to like, you know, meeting colleagues or making friends or being part of certain groups? Because I know it can be hard to one find people your age or even find people that, you know, look like you. Maybe what were some of the things that um you know you had did, whether it be like at conferences or even
Mm-hmm.
at your job or just in your personal life that allowed you to, you know, make those colleagues and friends so you didn't feel so left out and made it, you know, easier for you to navigate the space.
Right. Oh, another good question, Dominic. I would say another skill set that I have is being observant. And with that, with being observant, I'm also a listener, an intent listener. And through that, I can pick up on things, you know, characteristics about people, their interests. And what I would do is look for things, even if it's just one thing that I had in common with them, or a common experience, or a common person that we knew. And I often use that as an icebreaker to start a
Mhm.
conversation. Because oftentimes, when there's something that you share with someone, there's like this immediate bond, and conversation can start from there, and building rapport. So that would be my advice, you know, be observant, listen, and find something, no matter how small it is, that you share in common with that person, and use that in your introduction. to meet them.
So true. I think the thing I'm picking up here is just it all starts from, one conversation. And,
Yes.
a lot of people have more in common than what we think. So definitely don't be afraid to, speak your mind, even if it's just something simple to that person or that person that you're trying to become a mentee to or a friend.
Yes. Yes.
I did want to switch in a little bit because this month's theme is about balance. And I know with the world right now, everything is chaotic, especially when we're in, our jobs. What's one way that you practice just work-life balance to make sure that, you're your most optimized self? Because burnout is a real thing, no matter the age. And I know if you don't manage your time well, or if you
Right.
constantly just spend so much time at work doing work only, then you're not going to be your best self. So we'd love to know kind of what things you do for your work-life balance to make sure you're steady and ready to keep going.
Definitely. I would say prioritizing, I'll say probably three things. Definitely rest, getting rest, because that's a part of burnout. You just push and push and push yourself, but you've got to make time for rest, as well as carve out time to spend time with friends, family, loved ones, or whoever the people are in your life that make you happy, make you laugh. Make sure you are carving out time for that. And then the third thing I would say is to definitely connect with a supreme being, something higher than yourself. For me, it's my Christian faith. But what that will do is to help keep you grounded, help keep you focused on positive things, because no matter how much chaos is around you, you can find those positive things that ground you and give you hope to continue on. So those would be the three things: prioritize rest, spending time with those that make you happy, and connect with something higher than yourself, a supreme being.
Those are all three super practical things, and I love how they're just simple, because a
Yes.
lot of people may think that you have to do all these crazy things and do yoga or run or do all this, but sometimes
Right.
just as simple as, sitting down, talking with your higher power, or just being with family. So thank you for
Yes.
sharing that. I believe we have time for one last question.
Okay.
It was mentioned to me that you were a walk honoree, so congrats for that.
Thank
Um,
you.
I would love to know kind of what does that, recognition mean to you? And yeah.
So many things. It was a huge honor for me. And it was just a moment that I realized everything that I had experienced in, I'd say, life and my career, every challenge I faced, it all made sense in that moment. And to be acknowledged by Waves of Change, as well as my organization, UL Research Institutes, that was just a highlight of my career, a milestone that I'll always remember.
Awesome. That's so great to hear. But, thank you so much, Dr. King Wilkes, for being
Thank
with
you.
us today. And that concludes our questions for today. And please make sure you all stay tuned for commercials and our next segment, STEM Spotlight.
Thank you.
Calling all future STEM pioneers, leaders, and career champions. Join us on every second Saturday of the month for the BEYA Career Day. BEYA STEM Career Day is all about creating opportunities for students to venture into the world of STEM through the eyes of professionals. You'll meet mentors and presenters that will give you a sneak peek into the many options available to you in the field of STEM. Hosted by teen ambassadors, you'll find yourself among inspiring peers just like yourself that are aiming high for their future. To take part in the BEYA STEM Career Day on Zoom, visit fullstemahead.us and register for the next session. Again, that's fullstemahead.us. BEYA, becoming everything you are.
A world of careers unleashed. You can get it at BEYA.
Today, we will learn about Mark Regis Hanna, the co-founder of Silicon Graphics and a legend in 3D modeling. Sometimes history does come full circle, and in this case, Mark Hanna, whom we researched for Career Day as a STEM inventor, had his start very close to home, and he was also a 1988 BEYA Technical Contribution honoree. He was born in 1956 in Chicago, Illinois. Mr. Hanna was also an outstanding student, and he was able to receive a scholarship from Bell Laboratories, and he was able to attend the Illinois Institute of Technology. He received his degree in electrical engineering. His education also did not stop there. He went on to receive both his master's and his doctorate degree from Stanford University in California. This was a transformative era at Stanford, and many leaders that we see today in computer graphics and later artificial intelligence studied there and shared their thoughts. 3 years after earning his doctorate, Mark Hanna co-founded Silicon Graphics, also known as SGI, and the company specialized in 3D graphics and emerging technology at that time. Hanna created the computer programs Personal Iris, Indigo 1 and 2, and Indie Graphics. These programs played a significant role in the medical field, architectural renderings, and most famously in the movie industry. Modern classics such as Beauty and the Beast, Jurassic Park, and Terminator 2 all used Hanna's cutting-edge graphic technology that astonished viewers. These 3D graphics also revolutionized gaming, creating the basis for the Nintendo 64 console. And while these accomplishments are major in popular culture, they also quietly enhanced scientific research, surgical procedures, and airplane modeling systems to build stronger and safer planes. Mark Hanna's accomplishments in electrical engineering span so many industries, practical, popular, and life-saving. He credits his parents' emphasis on education and his ability to receive a full scholarship as the deciding factors that shaped his career path. We hope you enjoyed learning about Mark Hanna today and his legendary achievements using electrical engineering and 3D graphics. He took action to create a company and a vision that had never been conceived before. And education was the key that helped him achieve his dreams. If you know someone who would be an excellent candidate for a STEM Adventure segment, please drop their name in the chat below and stay tuned for future shows.
In today's rapidly changing workforce landscape, finding the right talent isn't just about filling positions. It's about building the future. But with new policies shaping how organizations approach recruitment, companies and institutions need a smarter way to connect with top STEM talent, fairly, effectively, and compliantly. That's where CCG Job Match comes in. For more than 30 years, Career Communications Group has been bridging the gap between education and industry. Job Match is our workforce development program that links employers with thousands of qualified, motivated candidates, students and professionals ready to make an impact. With Job Match, companies gain access to a broad pool of skilled applicants, engineers, technologists, innovators, while ensuring every hiring decision is based on merit. No quotas, no preferences, just opportunity and talent matched with precision. Education partners benefit too, helping their graduates transition seamlessly into the workforce while showcasing the strength of their academic programs to leading employers nationwide. In a world where policies may change, one thing remains constant: the need for great talent. CCG Job Match is where industries, institutions, and innovation meet. Let's build the future together. Contact us at CCG Job Match to start your partnership today.
And that was STEM City USA, our 2D metaverse. If you want to be able to maximize your time and get the best educational value, learn more about Colin AI, the AI-powered library in STEM City USA. You can interact with our archives and ask questions to locate primary sources from different decades of media. Don't forget to visit STEMCityUSA.com and enter the Education and Discovery building. From there, enter the library to sign up for your digital library card. Thank you to all who joined us for Career Day today. We appreciate your insights in the chat and your opinion and questions. We hope that this episode was evident and showed you how important STEM can be in your own life. Thank you to our Career Day speaker, Bethany King Wilkes, for sharing her journey and her wisdom. Remember to visit STEMCityUSA.com for more BEYA STEM Career Day segments. And please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and join us for the next Career Day on May 9th, 2026, where we'll feature even more STEM professionals, college students, and high school standouts. I'm ready to explore new STEM careers with you. We'll see you next time. This is Dominic Alegrete signing off.
The pre-college student program gives them a sense that somebody really cares about what their future is going to be. It gives them some encouragement to go to college, go to a trade school. It gives them, I think, some hope that there's something out there for them. My name is Anna Bertrand. I'm the conference coordinator for Career Communications Group. I am also the coordinator for the pre-college program. The pre-college student program is geared towards your middle, elementary, and high school students. The focus of the pre-college program is really to give students an opportunity to interact with professionals, for them to attend the workshops. That way they have an idea of the different opportunities that are available to them. When they go to the career floor, they're able to talk to recruiters, they're able to talk to different colleges that are there. They're able to interact basically with other students also. It gives the students a different opportunity, I feel, to meet professionals that they wouldn't otherwise have the opportunity to meet. I think that it is something that is worth getting involved with. If you are able to get your students involved, please just contact me.
From every corner, from far and wide, our talents merge, our futures tied. In science, taking all the arts, we find our way, we play our parts, reach for the stars.